So the service industry is a low wage industry. We all know that. And you don't get paid shit at all per hour. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. But what makes it all the more appalling is the fact that you have to tip out other employees, your coworkers, people that you work with all night. So you've got to tip out some of the money that you've made in tips to these people because corporations, they don't want to fucking pay their employees a higher minimum wage or just any kind of decent living wage. And, you know, I always think about it and it amazes me because I think, what a brilliant fucking idea to force your employees to pay the salaries of your other employees. Like, who comes up with that kind of shit? Who comes up with that shit? That's a total fucking corporate thing to do. And it's absolute bullshit. So I had spent, you know, a few nights taking photos of the amount of money, 2.5%, that I have to pay as part of tip share, tip pooling, out of what I make, and that money is then distributed towards between bartenders, hosts, and I think a few other people. And I just thought, you know, even though it's small amounts, $8, $10, $18, that shit still adds up over time. And so I don't even want to think of, you know, hundreds of dollars that I've paid in a month or so to help take care of my fellow coworkers. I shouldn't have to do that shit. But it's perfectly legal. Once again, it's a corporate thing to do, and there's really no way around it. And you can actually be fired for refusing to give up part of your salary to other people. And so I just wanted to take a couple snapshots and show some of the money that I've had to pay out of my pocket at the end of the night to my coworkers, because the company that I work for is just too fucking greedy to pay their employees a living wage. So there's going to be a little slideshow of about 3 or 4 pieces of paper where you can see the amount that I've had to give out as part of tip share so that I can help support my fellow coworkers and help take care of them and help them pay their bills. I don't know why, I don't know how, but that's the way it's been fucking working. So here's a photo of that. That's the fucking reason people who have jobs, part-time jobs or full-time jobs, have to receive food stamps, Medicaid. They can't take care of themselves on their own because they don't make a living wage. Because of having to pay out their salary, the little money that they do make every night, or even if it's higher, they're paying it out to take care of other employees. So that's the reason why you've got millions of Americans on social welfare programs that they shouldn't be on, because they're employed, they have jobs, they're able to take care of themselves because they do have a job, but unfortunately that job just doesn't pay them shit at all because corporate has decided, you know, we just don't really want to give away much of our money. We need our jets, our planes, our homes, $1 million homes. They need those things, and so they can't have those things if they help take care of us. And that's the problem with working in the service industry or any low-wage job, is you've got these greedy corporations who have made it. They used to be a small business at some point, but they've made it now. And rather than paying it forward and allowing their employees to take care of themselves, rather than giving back to the community, they want to shit on everybody and save as much money as they possibly fucking can. And the government is allowing them to do this. And for the rest of us who don't try to make it on our own as an entrepreneur, you're stuck. You're stuck working for somebody else. And that is the situation that I'm in right now, just like all of you, most of you. And I am, you know, saying, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to create my own job. I'm going to strike out on my own, try to create my own job for myself, and have my own income where I don't have to deal with working for corporations or any business like this who doesn't really give a shit about you. They just want you to show up to work, do your fucking job, get bitched at, and go home with 50 cents at the end of the day. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. So that's what we're talking about here. You know, shining a light. We got to keep the light, the spotlight on what's going on here with the millions of Americans that are just indentured to these fucking corporations because we need a paycheck. We have to feed ourselves. We need gas in our car. We need to have our utilities paid. And it's extremely difficult to do that when you have a low-wage job. So we're going to keep talking about this shit. It needs to be mainstream. More people need to be talking about it and standing up and telling their employers, fuck you. Fuck you. I don't have to work for you. I work here now, but I'm not gonna fucking be here that long. Fuck you. I'm not gonna put up with this bullshit taking home $50 every 2 weeks or whatever it is that you're making. It's still never gonna be more than enough to take care of yourself, or even at a bare minimum to pay the lights or any of that stuff. So you gotta find a way to ditch these jobs and find your own way to create an income for yourself. And that's what I'm working on right now. And it's going to be a reality a lot sooner than I think. But in the meantime, you've got to unfortunately stay here and suck it up and deal with this shit. And it's not fair. And I know life's not fair, but this is really just something that should be absolutely illegal. And these corporations are getting tax subsidies, tax breaks, cuts, all kinds of shit. They're the ones that are getting the real welfare. I mean, it's really sending the message that maybe you should just create your own fucking corporation. That's the way that you're supposed to get welfare, and not as an individual who's trying to survive. You should be getting it as a corporation, because that's where the real fucking money is. And as long as you're wearing a suit and a tie, it's not welfare. It's giving back to corporations. I guess that's what it is. We're supposed to be giving back to corporations. And I say, fuck that. You know, we can't afford to live this way anymore. People just can't afford to live this way anymore. So you need to take charge of your destiny, save up if you fucking can, and do what you have to do to get out of this situation, because our government's not going to help us. They're not going to help change anything. This is the way the game goes. This is the way things are supposed to be, until you decide to step up and say, fuck it, I've had it. I'm not going to pay the salaries of my employees anymore. And I'm not going to fucking work for you anymore. So fuck you.